On this last day of Florida's legislative session, we've been telling you about all the bills that have gotten passed, but let's talk about a big thing that didn't pass. Lawmakers filed 5 bills to overturn a Florida law that limits who can sue over medical malpractice deaths. For months, 10 Investigates Jenna Bourne has been fact-checking the potential impacts of those changes. And Jenna, none of those bills passed.
We're talking about bills that would have repealed what critics call Florida's free kill law, which prevents certain people from suing over a wrongful death. I've been talking to people on both sides of that equation, and they're telling me their surprise and disappointment from families who've lost loved ones and within the medical community. How does it feel being in Hillsborough County today?
It's overwhelming. This place used to be home, and now it feels so far from home.
That's because the county where Sabrina Davis grew up is the same place where her father died, 5 days after he showed up to a hospital with a swollen knee that wouldn't bear weight.
The hospital refused to do an autopsy, and after I paid for one privately, it confirmed that my dad died of a 9-inch long blood clot. 100% preventable. He had every sign and symptom for the blood clot, but nothing was ever done to address it.
The Florida Department of Health found that Keith Davis's doctor at a hospital in Hillsborough County committed medical malpractice by failing to assess and treat his elevated risk for deep vein thrombosis and pulmonary embolism. The department made the doctor pay a $7,500 fine, plus about $4,000 for the department's investigation costs, take 13 hours of continuing education courses, and hire a risk manager to review his practice. The DOH also issued a letter of concern against the doctor's license.
It was extremely degrading for me to hear that they put such a low punishment on something that changed my life forever.
And did you see a dime of those fines?
Oh no, they go to the Department of Health.
But that agency was her only avenue for justice because of Florida law. If you are 25 or older, unmarried or widowed, and have no children under the age of 25, you're what critics of Florida's law call a free kill. If that's you, subsection 8 of Florida's Wrongful Death Act says your loved ones can't sue the doctor or healthcare facility for mental pain and suffering damages. Florida lawmakers filed 5 bills this session to fully or partially repeal that restriction, but only one made any progress. Senator Clay Yarborough's SB 248 got approved by its first committee. Then it went nowhere.
We started to get some more headwinds from the House, and eventually realized that it wasn't something that the House wanted to pick up. I've already spoken to the incoming president for next year, Senator Albritton, and told him I still want to work on this and repeal that law.
Yarborough's bill would have fully repealed the so-called free kill law, so anyone would have been able to sue over their loved one's suspected medical malpractice death. But it would have added caps on pain and suffering damages for anyone who sues over wrongful deaths or injuries caused by medical malpractice. Yarborough said the goal was to prevent doctors' liability insurance from skyrocketing, although we found it doesn't always work out like that in other states with caps.
The medical community actually kind of reversed course on it right before session and decided that they'd be willing to support creating that new class of claimants in exchange for what was also attached to that bill, which was caps on non-economic damages.
Attorney Andy Bolin has been representing Florida doctors and hospitals for decades.
I think everyone's a little disappointed that, we're going to end the session without a solution. I hope that this conversation continues, and I think the medical community wants it.
I feel let down.
Now what?
Well, we have a year to come back stronger. So there's a lot of work to be done between now and next session. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to give up.
Please accept this flag as a symbol of our appreciation for your father's honorable and faithful service.
This is the flag that they gave me at his memorial. He believed in the freedom of our country. I feel in some way that torch has been handed to me to continue to fight for our freedom, even if it's in a different way.
You can find our previous deep dive fact checks into this issue right now. Just click on this story on 10tampabay.com. In the studio, Jenna Bourne, 10 Investigates.
At least 6 bills that would have changed this part of Florida's Wrongful Death Act died in committee during Florida's previous 2 legislative sessions. Also, right now on 10 Tampa Bay, you can see some of the bills that did pass this session and how they will impact your wallet.